The second Crawford County deputy has been sentenced, and I actually agree with his sentence. So let me tell you why. First, let's go over what federal prosecutors say happened on August 21st, 2022. So on that date, a gas station clerk from Crawford County called police to report that a man who we now know is Randall Worcester threatened her. She told him that he could not sit outside the gas station and he needed to leave. So he spit on her and threatened to cut her effing face off. He left the gas station on a bicycle. So several hours later, the Crawford County deputies, Levi White and Zach King, along with Mulberry police officer Bell Riddle, located Randall Worcester sitting outside of a different gas station in Mulberry this time. So the three officers went up to Randall Worcester. They asked him if he had a weapon. He told them that he did. He had a little white folding knife, and he handed it to them without any argument, really. He just handed it to them. Bell Riddle went to put it up for, safekeeping, they say, and he went to go run Randall Worcester's information through the computer. While Randall Worcester was talking with officers, he decided to get up from the curb and he did lunge forward and grab Levi White's legs and take him to the ground. So up until this point in time, I agree with what the police officers did. I agree that Randall Worcester probably needed to be arrested. I do think that he has mental health issues. He has some sort of issue, right? But I don't think that that absolves him from his actions up to this point. He shouldn't have threatened the lady, definitely shouldn't have spit on the lady, and he shouldn't have tackled Levi White, period. But this is where things take a turn, and I'm going to use the old adage that my mother taught me years and years ago. Two wrongs don't make a right. So Riddle went to grab Randall Worcester, and when he tried to grab Randall, all three of them fell to the ground, right? He fell to the ground, Randall fell to the ground, and Levi White fell to the ground. Now, Zach King saw what was going on, and he ran over to help those two police officers. Within seconds, according to federal prosecutors, within seconds, they had Randall Worcester under control, and he had submitted to being arrested. And the report specifies this. Randall Worcester, 5'8", 140 pounds. They had him, within seconds, stretched out on his stomach with his legs behind him and all three officers on top of him. They had him pinned to the ground. Now, up until this point, I will say, I still agree. I still agree with this. Even Bell Riddle, one of the other officers, said that Randall Worcester, at this point in time, he had stopped fighting. He was not actively resisting. There was no legitimate reason for officers to use any force against Bell Riddle at that point in time or any further, except to apply the handcuffs. That's according to one of the other officers. Instead of allowing Bell Riddle to just put the cuffs on Randall Worcester, Levi White decided that he wanted to take out his aggression on Randall Worcester. He hit him. He punched him in the face 9 times. Then he lifted Randall Worcester's head and slammed it onto the pavement. The sheriff for Crawford County even said it looked like he cracked his head like an egg. After he cracked his head, he hit him 2 more times, at least, in the head, and then kneed him in the back of the head. Before we go any further, let's think about this, right? Let's think about this. Hit him, punched him 9 times. Bam, 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 bam. Picked his head up and hit it on the pavement. Boom, and then punched him 2 more times. Bam, bam. All the while, this man had no ability to fight him back. But it wasn't just the actions of Levi White that affected or harmed Randall Worcester, because Zach King, who was positioned further down towards Randall Worcester's legs, he started kneeing him. He kneed him in the leg several times. He hit him in the midsection, and he also kicked him in the back. I'm sure it helped Zach King to admit this because Zach King had lesser charges, but Zach King even said that there was no reason for that to happen to Randall Worcester. He actually said that it was unreasonable and unnecessary even for him to strike Randall Worcester and to kick him. while Randall was pinned to the ground. Zach King said that at that point in time, he, I guess, was so in the moment, he did not see Levi White hitting Randall Worcester. He didn't know that Levi White had done, I guess, what he did. And he says that when he saw the footage, like reviewed the video, he was very upset about the actions of Levi White. He said, quote, it was very wrong and violated the basic rules he had been taught. He also said it was immoral. I mean, and I do take a little bit of issue, maybe more than a little bit of issue with those words coming from someone who also participated in this beating. But I guess it's better late than never to, come to the realization that you were wrong and someone else was wrong as well. Anyway, we all know that this was caught on cell phone video, and who knows, honestly, how much worse it might have been for Randall Worcester, or what the end result might have been had it not been caught on video, because it was caught on video by someone, a woman from Oklahoma. And the woman had just pulled up to the gas station, and they happened to see this going on. They pulled up, I think it said, 14 seconds after the beating started. Now, the woman told police, or told investigators, that she did not contact police about what was happening because police were the perpetrators. And I just sat with that for a second. Like, I get it. I get it so deeply. You did not feel like you could call the police because police were the ones that were doing the bad thing. You couldn't call the people that you were supposed to be able to call to protect someone, to stop wrongdoing. She said that that is why she started recording. Now, the other person in the car got out, took a few steps forward, and yelled, "Stop, it's too much." To which Levi White screamed at her, "Get the F back in the car." But it did get him to stop the assault. Now, they did arrest Randall Worcester, took him to the Crawford County Detention Center, and when they did, the Crawford County Detention Center instructed them to take Randall Worcester to the hospital to be treated. When they got to the hospital, Randall Worcester refused to say anything. And I can understand that coming from him, because you just got your butt handed to you by the police. If I were in that situation, I feel like I would feel that it was in my best interest to just not say anything, because I got to ride back with these guys, right? But they did see that he had injuries. He had abrasions to his eye, hands, head. He had a hematoma on his scalp. He had a swollen ear. He had swelling and knots in other places. At some point in time after the incident, Levi White spoke to, it says the Alma police sergeant, but I'm wondering if it's not Mulberry, because it also said that Thel Riddle was with Alma police and he wasn't. He was with Mulberry. He bragged and said, "We showed him the Crawford way." 2 days after the investigation, Levi White and Zach King learned that they were under investigation for violating civil rights. At that point in time, the Crawford County Sheriff had really no choice but to place them both on leave, and they were supposed to turn in their department issued belongings, including their cell phone. Levi White chose to perform a factory reset on his phone, which deleted everything. He told Zach King that he was doing a factory reset. Zach King did not do the factory reset. Also, Levi White deleted some of his messages from his private phone. There was one message cited in particular that Thel Riddle brought to federal investigators, that where Levi White was referring to the beating of Randall Worcester as an ass whipping. Getting to the current stuff, Levi White was sentenced yesterday. He was sentenced to 63 months in federal prison, followed by a 2-year supervised release. Federal prison really doesn't have parole, but they can order a supervised release. So that was Levi White. Zach King was sentenced today. He was sentenced to 12 months in federal prison, followed by a 1-year supervised release. Now, Zach King's time is so much less than Levi White's because he played a lesser role. He didn't perform a factory reset. He was more open with federal prosecutors. Zach King will have to serve 10 months before he is released, and he will get credit for any time that has been served while he has been awaiting his sentencing. What is your opinion on these sentences? Do you think they're fair? Do you think they're too much or too little?